This is a day to celebrate. This is a
Hello.
special moment because I'm here with one of my dearest friends, Jar from Ireland,
Hello. Nice to be here.
and one of the and I'm pretty sure you're very excited because today we're going to talk about Festival da Canção, and it's one of your
Mhm.
favorite national selections, right?
It is. This is one of the best times of the year when the Festival da Canção songs come out. I think that Portugal frequently has a very strong national selection, and this year is no different.
Mhm. Were you happy when Maru won?
I was very happy. I feel like we campaigned enough last year. So when she won, there was a sense of relief.
Yes, because we finally had a very nice song.
Exactly. And I think she did herself very proud in the actual competition as well. She should have got more points, but these things happen.
You know Ukraine, right?
Of course.
So yeah. But anyway, so let's start talking about the overall level of the Festival da Canção this year.
Hmm.
What's your opinion on it? What do you think about like the overall level, especially compared to other national selections? Okay, guys, if you
Okay.
have questions, just let me just people, if you have questions, please send us a message. Se vocês tiverem alguma pergunta em português, vocês podem mandar em português e eu falo pro Jar em inglês, in English. Okay, sorry, Jar, go on.
It's okay. He can translate anything for me. So just whatever language you want to talk in, feel free. You probably speak about 12, 13, right?
Oh, just two.
All right. So the average in comparison to other national selections, Festival de Canso is one of the higher quality ones. But we have seen in other selections that had high quality, it doesn't really matter how high the quality is, a bad song can still somehow win. So we have to make sure that this year in Portugal, that doesn't happen. So if you are able to vote and you're listening to these words, I would say take what we're saying quite seriously because I want Portugal to do as well as Portugal can possibly do in this competition. I would love to see Portugal win again. So I'm not going to try and mislead you. I'm going to tell you the types of songs that I, as a Eurovision viewer, would want to vote for. And there is songs in this selection that I would vote for in Eurovision, depending, of course, on the standard. We don't know how strong or how weak this year is going to be, but so far, this year is not strong. That's all I'm going to say.
Hmm. Okay, okay. If you say so.
Hmm.
Let's see. So let's start talking about the songs.
Okay.
The first song that I would like to ask you about is the song. Let's start with the first semifinal.
Hmm.
Okay, it's a song called Modo Voo,
Hmm. You're going to have
and
to give me the artist names. I've got the artist names written down, not the songs.
okay, and it's performed by April Ivy. She's also the composer of the song. She composed the song with like there are like
Yeah.
10 people in the
Okay.
songwriting credits, so it's
Okay.
it's a song that a lot of people are involved. So what do you think
Hmm.
about Modovo?
I really like it. I really like the song. I kind of felt like this would be one that we might disagree on. It's the most pop song in this selection by a long shot. It kind of gives me what I've got written down is it's very catchy, pure pop, great production. It starts like The Weekend. It's got that like really dark pop, kind of like you're driving in the car. I like it. It's spoilers. It's in my top 3/4 of the selection.
Okay, today I listened to the songs again, like to
Hmm.
make up my mind. So this one is the one that actually grew on me. I actually
Mm.
like it. It's not amazing. It's not the
Hmm.
song that is supposed to win.
Mm.
I think it would bomb in Eurovision for sure. It's not the kind of songs that the televotes would be interested in. And let's keep in mind that nowadays we really have to be more aggressive because the
Yeah.
televote is not going to support these middle of the road songs.
Yeah.
So I think it's very good. I think it's the kind of song that we can listen to while we are driving, or listen to when we are at the gym, listen when we are, I don't know, maybe, hmm,
Maybe.
Starting, I don't know. It's the kind of song that is just for your routine. It's not a
Mm,
song to be appreciated like in a big stage performance, but it's very
yeah,
good, in my
it
opinion.
is good. I like it. And I mean, we don't know what this is going to translate like live with staging and with camera angles and with charisma. The performer could really win us over. I actually do like this song, and I wouldn't count its chances out in Eurovision just yet. I think that there's something special and unique about Portugal sending such a pure pop song. I can't remember the last time this has ever happened.
I think it hasn't.
Yeah, it would be unique, like this pure pop, but in it's like the female Portuguese version of The Weekend. It's very good. I think a lot of people like that sound, and with 100% televoting, I think that Portugal would be in the final with this song if it's performed competently. I wouldn't count her out yet.
Hmm. We are. This is the time that we kind of disagree. But well, let's see.
Yeah.
Next song, it's Bolha. It's a song composed by. It's not a song. It's actually a group. It's composed
Hmm.
by Jacinta and Joana Gil. The name of the song is Sonhos de Liberdade, which means dreams of freedom or liberty, whatever you want to translate, how you want to translate
Hmm.
it. But what's your opinion on this song?
All right, the artist's name is
Bolha.
Bolha.
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep this short and sweet. I said it's nice elevator music. I don't think Portugal should send this to Eurovision.
Yeah, it's not the kind of that's something that we have to sometimes. I keep saying that, and um, this is actually my opinion when it comes to national selections.
Mm,
Um, we can only pick one. So why do we have like five songs that are extremely aggressive, that are
mm,
extremely good, and that can do well or even win Eurovision? I think this
hmm.
is something that Christer Bjorkman, like when he was responsible for Melody Festival, he used to make some adjustments. Just okay, this song is going to take part next year, or this one it would be better
Yeah.
next year because we already have too many competitive songs, and
Hmm.
someone has to lose, right?
Exactly.
Someone has to lose. So we cannot have like a national selection with 20 amazing songs. It would be a
Mm,
waste.
exactly.
But we can have like five very
Mm,
aggressive competitive songs, and then we can have like 10 songs that can be used like to listen to when we are at the gym or studying or
yeah. It's great promo for the artists too. The ones with the weaker songs, you're still getting to promote your song on a global stage. Lots of international people watch Festival de Canção. It's following the Melody Festival, and where they bring in new artists. They don't give them winning songs, and they test the water with the Swedish public. And then you'll see them come back 2 years later, 3 years later, and then they'll win. And they'll have the song that's like specifically being give to them. This is your year. I do think it's nice that Festival de Canso isn't 20 brilliant songs, because we need to save some of those songs for next year, and we probably should have used one of them last year. You know what I mean? It's just, let's not throw all of our eggs in one basket.
absolutely, I agree with you. This song is actually very interesting because it was the original version had six minutes. So
It really is elevator music then.
yeah, like Jacinta is one of the. She's a jazz performer. She's a
Mm,
great singer. She's also a fantastic composer. I
mhm.
think this one is nice, and I agree with you. It's elevated, but it's not very competitive. However,
No.
it's a song that grows on you, and this is
Yeah.
something that some people were saying in our live stream yesterday that Alicia Michelle, she was saying that Festival da Canção was the best national selection of the year. And many fans are
Mm,
appreciating Festival da Canção.
yeah.
And
It's good.
but something that we have to understand is that Festival da Canção didn't change.
No.
It's the same show. Since 2007, it hasn't changed that much. The taste of the fans changed. Like the fans started to appreciate different kind of music.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. That's the thing. Festival da Canção, it's offering the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's quite different from what they hear in Spain or in Norway or in Sweden. But they have learned to appreciate something more different. And I think Bole is one of these examples.
Yeah.
It's a song that can be appreciated. It's nice. We can point its quality, but it's not a song that is supposed to win.
No, it's a song that's supposed to give some promotion for the artist, and hopefully we see the artist again in a few years' time with a much more aggressive song. Yeah.
Okay, we have 8 people here watching our live. 9 people, which is quite a lot.
My God, that makes 10 of us. That's like, oh my, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's quite a lot for our channel, but like, people, please talk, comment something. We are now going to talk about Turkey, and the name of the song is Encruzilhada. What do you think? He wrote the song and he's also performing it. Most of the composers that RTP invited decided to perform the song themselves, and Turkey is one of these.
Brave.
Yeah.
Well, Turkey. I'm going to again keep this one short and sweet. Not for me. That's really unfortunate. I just don't have. For me in this selection, I've kind of made my bed with the songs that I really favor, and the rest of them, I'm just not as excited about them. I know that they're not the type of material that could win the Eurovision Song Contest. And I think we should be at that place where we're trying to win. Every country needs to try to win, because you can try to win and you're going to come last if every other country is trying to win too. You can't take it easy. You can't go the safe route. It can't just be good or even very good. These songs need to be competitive. And this isn't competitive enough. It's a good song, but it's just not a Eurovision winner.
And this is something that we have comment like quite a lot here in Sha. Why are you bringing those middle of the road songs again and again? Who are these people that are selecting these songs that nobody listens to? Who are these people that are inviting these artists that nobody knows, that have zero experience on stage? Who make these decisions? Like, it's unbelievable how some countries have been managing the competition. But I'm going to disagree with you when it comes to Turkey.
Okay.
I think Turkey has a very good song. It's very good, but maybe it's something that Portuguese speakers are going to appreciate, you know?
Yes.
Maybe it's not
I
something
do think
international.
there's a big difference what I've noticed from what the actual Portuguese speaking audience likes and what the international audience likes, because we don't understand the language of the song. And when there's 20 songs in a national selection and you're someone like me and you're following all the national selections, it's difficult to kind of get a translation, remember the translation, know what the song's about, remember the song. Even musically, sometimes it's difficult. I'm going off my notes here to even remember what Turkey's song sounds like. And I'm trusting my notes to say it's not memorable enough if I can remember other songs vividly in my mind. And this one, I'm trying to think, what do you sound like, really? It's just very, for me, it's middle of the pack. But to be middle of the pack in Festival da Canção is not a bad thing. You're in the middle of a strong pack.
There is a comment here from Carla. She's saying that Turkey is the typical Portuguese radio-friendly song. Its strength is in the lyrics, which, let's be frank, is not enough for Eurovision. I agree, and I love Turkey's song. I
Yeah.
love him. I love it. But I think it's one of those songs that people are going to appreciate. People are going to
Mm.
listen to it on the radio, but maybe it's not going to be enough for the Eurovision audience, for the international audience. But for me, it's one of the best songs of the selection. I wouldn't vote for it for sure, but it's something that, uh, for example, last year, Su Numero from Finland, from
Hmm.
that band Young Hearted.
Yeah.
It's one of the most streamed songs of the national selection,
Mm.
and it did poorly in the televote
Yeah, that was a
because
strange one.
people in Finland like that song. They listen to it, but
Mm.
they know it's not competitive enough to go to Eurovision. It's something that people like internationally are not going
Yeah.
to appreciate.
That
I like
displays intelligence. The Finnish people are very smart. They can go, this song is for us, but it's not for us to send to the international stage. And the Portuguese need to also have the same mindset. This is our song, but it's not for Europe. We'll keep this to ourselves. We'll play this on the radio, but we're not going to put it on an international stage to honestly embarrass the artist. You know what I mean? Some artists, their songs are great and they don't deserve the placements they get in Eurovision, and we need to just not we need to stop sending these sorts of artists to Eurovision with these sorts of songs, and we need to remember it's all about the competition. But thank you for the comment, Carla. I completely agree with you.
Thank you, Carla. But yeah, I think it's one of the best songs, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's the songs that I'm going to listen to a lot, but it's not a song that's meant to go to Eurovision, although I want you to qualify.
Okay.
It fails in the same category of Ginger Ale. I'm not sure if you remember this from last year. It was this jazzy song from
Mm.
Tirana Castro, Ginger Ale. Like many, do you remember this one?
I'm just gonna say vaguely. It's come on now. We're going back an entire year. Time's moving too fast for me.
But like there is one that you really did not like, and I remember you were trashing this song on WhatsApp with me. It was
Well,
Os
there's
Quatro e Meia
I remember,
Amanhã.
yeah, I remember that title, so I know that I have something against it. There's going to be a song that's going to come up in this conversation between me and you. That's another little jazzy number, and it's one of the favorites to win, and I don't like it. So I feel as though I think that's probably not my genre of music, obviously. I'm not feeling it because we'll get to it. But yeah, there's a song that we're definitely going to disagree on coming up shortly.
But yeah, the thing with Os Quatro e Meia is that I was not a big fan
Mm,
when it come out, but they really sold it live,
mm,
and I said, okay, if Mario doesn't go, it must be them.
okay.
Like it changed my mind completely, but like we never know. But like the song itself, both Amanhã and Ginger Ale, I think those
Mm,
songs are for the radio, songs
yes.
that we can listen to like daily, but not for a competition.
Yes, they're songs
Uh,
for the locals, not for the competition.
yeah. What about Claudia Pasquale? She has been in
Right.
Eurovision in 2018.
We love a bit
Now,
of Claudia,
yeah, we
and I
surely do.
really, really liked the um when Claudia was in that duet with the other female performer with the dark hair. I thought their harmonies together was absolutely beautiful.
Isaura.
I would like to see her come back as a solo performer because I really liked her voice. It was just very unique. Honestly, I hope Claudia's not watching, but it was the other girl that kind of made that performance for me of that song. But we're talking about Claudia as a soloist, and no, this song is better than her last attempt. Song wise, it's a better song. It's catchy and it gets stuck in your head almost immediately. But my issue with the song is you get to the 1 minute 30 mark and you feel like you've been listening to it for 3 minutes because it's extremely repetitive. It's the type of song that I wish it did something else or had a different sort of structure so that it wasn't so repetitive. But then they say like a repetitive song in Eurovision can be a good thing because it will stick in the listeners' heads. But I just feel as though Claudia's song, it's too repetitive for Eurovision. but it's not a bad song.
I think that I think it has a nice message. It's
Hmm.
feminist and everything. Um, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to talk about this.
Mhm.
I listened to it once, and I
Mm.
think it's okay. It's nice. It's interesting. But the second time that I listened to it, it feels extremely repetitive,
Yeah,
extremely
yeah.
repetitive. And I think that as a song, I agree with you. It's better than Nor Jardim,
Mm.
but I'm not sure. I think she has better songs. Like
I just wish. Sorry for interrupting. I just obviously these songs are locked in now. They're on the Festival de Canso album. They cannot be changed. So it's not as if she could revamp the song or change the song. This has so much potential, and that's what irritates me because it was almost as if she found this one very catchy bit of song and she didn't know what to do with it. So she just kept repeating it over and over again. And that a song does not make. A song is a song. It has to have structure, it has to build. Great message. I love a feminist message. I'm all for female empowerment, obviously, especially nowadays when you would think the world should be much safer, but it just doesn't seem that way for women. But we're not going to get into darker topics. But I do think that if the song was restructured, it could be my favorite of the selection. But at the minute, she's sitting pretty at seventh place.
Mm. I think that maybe the performance is going to really
Mm.
elevate it.
Elevate it. Yeah.
It could like really elevate her, but I'm not sure if it's the right choice. You know what I mean? I think that
No.
there are some parts of the songs that instead of repeating Nashi Maria, Nashi Maria, Nashi Mulher, she could have used maybe some instruments, or she
Yes.
plays instruments. Maybe it would be nice to have her playing the solo of a ukulele or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. I don't want
Exactly.
to. I don't want to interfere in her artistic process.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sorry, Claudia. If you listen to this, I'm sorry. But like, it's not like I want to interfere. But like, I felt it could have been a bit more, you know, different. And we have
You know how talented she is, so you have high
shares.
expectations of her, and that is a double-edged sword because when people know how talented you are, they are always expecting more, and we do want more from Claudia, and that is it's a compliment for somebody to say, you can do better, and she knows she can do better. Like I agree, there's parts of that song where not even playing an instrument, but she could even because it's so catchy and it's kind of got that almost like Egyptianish sort of flavor at times with with this like it's kind of to the structure, not the music. That it's very sort of like walk like an Egyptian type of music. She could do, and I'm not saying to dance like that because it's 2023, you get cancelled. But I'm saying she could do some sort of even like a structured dance during the performance with close camera angles and with no vocals going on, but just with music going on. Anything could happen, but it is just you can only hear the same line being repeated so many times before it loses all meaning.
I completely agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And also, Carla agrees with you because she's saying, I agree with you, Jar. It has a nice beat and message, but lazy writing in the
Hmm.
lyrics. After a few listenings, it becomes jarring. I don't know this word.
Jarring.
Jarring.
Jarring
Jarring.
means jarring is sort of like if you kind of have to look twice to take like a double take at something. If something is jarring, it's sort of like it shocks you, but in a bad way.
Uh-huh. Okay. For me at least. Okay, so jarring.
Yeah.
Never heard of this expression before.
As a
Okay.
person called Jar, I am jarred all the time.
Okay. I can say I can, well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. But that's what it
Okay.
means. And I do agree. I found it, when I listened to it for the first time, you and I were together and I was dancing, but then it got so repetitive. You seen, I stopped dancing and I was going, is this really happening? And that's what jarring means. I couldn't believe what was happening almost, that it was so repetitive.
Ah,
Yeah.
I don't even think there is a translation for that.
Well, no, you can create the word. The beautiful thing about language is new words are being created every single day.
Yeah, this is interesting because I don't even know how to translate that. Like, it's interesting. Okay, so we have another comment here from Denise Fonseca. He's saying Claudia's song is one of my favorites. I think it can win the jury for having a feminist message. I
Mhm.
agree with him. I think it's
Yeah.
possible. I think it's a potential winner. Like, I don't think it's a song that has zero chance. I think it can win, and maybe it
Oh,
can do well on
it's one of
Eurovision.
the favorites for a reason. It's definitely not one to count out. It's one that I personally, I don't think it's the strongest song, and I do not think that it will bring Portugal its best result in the Eurovision from the available songs. But do
Mhm.
I think that it would be a bad choice? Definitely not. Right now, if this was to be the song that was selected by Portugal today, it would be number one in my ranking, but then there would only be 4 songs.
And the songs that we already have are not that good either.
Yeah, I hate to be a horrible person, so I'm just not going to say anything else. But thank you for your comment. That I agree with you that the jury's like a song with a message. Look what happened with uh, Proud in 2018. Now that vocally was amazing, but the message and the staging and the artistic way that it was staged, with a woman looking away and the silhouettes of her sort of giving a voice to the voiceless. If you can captivate the audience with your staging and translate the song in that way, anything's possible.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Mm.
100%. Um, let me move to. Let me see. Esse povo. Esse povo. I'm gonna spell so you can understand.
Mhm.
ESSEPOVO.
Esse Povo. And is that the name of the song or the artist?
That's the name of the artist. The name of the
Esse
song
Povo.
is Sapatos de Cimento.
Esse
Concrete
Povo.
shoes. Concrete
Why do I not?
shoes.
Why do I not have this artist written down on my notes? I'm very sorry, but I'm completely missing this one. Are they one of the better ones?
No.
Okay, well, that might be the reason why it's not a good sign when I actually have completely missed a song in my notes. That is my bad. Sorry.
But yeah, it's not very competitive. But like
No.
the guy that is behind the song, he's part of a band that it's quite popular.
Mhm.
His name is Queen King Albergaria. It's it's not a very like there are many last names, many Portuguese last names that are also present here in Brazil, like
Mhm.
Pascoal, for example, Claudia Pascoal. This is
Mhm.
like like it's not something that we Brazilians are not used to, but this last
Mhm.
name, Albergaria, is not very common here in Brazil. But
Mhm.
anyway, he is part of a band called Bateu Matou,
Mhm.
which is very good. And, well, I expected more from him, to be honest. I think it's not a bad song, but it's very uncompetitive. And,
Mhm.
like, it could have been a bit more, I don't know, daring when it comes to the song, you know what I mean? But
Well,
I think it's
unfortunately, I can't say much other than it must be very forgettable.
okay. Let's move to one of the favorites, and we are going
Okay.
to please remember, guys, we are going to interview her, Mimi Cat, on Tuesday. Okay,
Ooh, exciting.
Okay, so what do you think about Mimicat?
Mimicat, Mimicat,
Ai
Mimicat.
Coração, Mimicat.
All right. Now I'm probably going to have to change my tone to be a bit nicer. Well, what I'm going to say is, you heard me earlier, jazz music is not my favorite genre. Now, what I will say about Mimi Cat is, this is definitely, if not the favorite to win the competition, it's the second favorite to win the competition. I have been sleuthing through the internet. I've been sleuthing to see the general opinions of the Euro fans and translating comments to try and gauge the general opinions of the Portuguese speakers. This one is coming up frequently in people's 1 to 3rd places to win the selection. I remember it. I think that this is the type of. Do you remember that performance by the song that we wanted to win that was very French feeling? And they were kind of running around the stage, and we didn't really like the staging, but we loved the song.
Barbara Tinoco.
Thank you. Then, if Mimi Cat happens to be watching, she probably hasn't won a 10, but if you are, make sure that you don't have people running around the stage like headless chickens, distracting from your vocal, distracting from the song, distracting from your charisma. You need to make it about you. And if you do have dancers and singers and whatnot, give them their moment to shine, of course, but don't be like what happened with the other girl, where she had people running around her like a headless chicken while she sat on a bench. It was very distracting, and obviously nobody voted. Well, not very many people voted for it. So yeah, make it more about you and about the song and about your own natural charisma and your own natural jazziness, and that would win me over a lot more than what happened a few years ago in Festival da Canção, where I was watching something, and I'll use this word again, but I found it very jarring.
Okay. Thank you. By the way, thank you, Carla, for teaching me this new word.
It's great. It's amazing.
It's great. It's nice. Okay. So when it comes to Mimi Cat, I think that she was on our wish list. We presented our wish list with 21 performances that we wanted to see on Festival da Canção, and Mimi Cat was one of them. I personally wanted her to perform a song in English, but I think she's doing an amazing job with a song in Portuguese. I was watching one of her stories, and like, the song was really well composed, like and really well produced too. Like she said that she used a real instrument, like you could see like real instruments being played, and how the process was. It was very professional. So and she has performed in Brazil. She has a lot of experience. She also she was once called the Portuguese Amy Winehouse. So
I see that.
So she has a very interesting voice. I think she is one of the main contenders of the selection. We are
definitely
to agree on that. This song is very good. However, I think it's very hard to perform. I think she needs to be, because that's the thing. I think that a song like this, if she would just put a band on stage and perform, it would be just perfect. Work with the camera angles and everything. But I don't think she's going to do that, because she has said that she's going to have 2 dancers on stage. Then things becomes a bit more tricky. It can be fantastic, absolutely, but I'm gonna wait and see.
Definitely, I think that the song itself very well produced, but it would be fair to say that it is quite chaotic. There's a lot going on in the song itself already. So if you add extra elements to the staging, you don't need to excite the viewer that much. The song is exciting enough alone. The performance is exciting enough alone. you don't need to kind of then go, I've got this really exciting song, so now I'm going to have my dancers and I'm going to have people doing breakdancing in the corner, and then I'm going to have this person over here doing something. I'm like, no, dial it back and kind of just do what needs to be done to make it only was elevating the performance. It's kind of like, what is it? Who's that fashion designer that said, put two things on and take one thing off?
Coco Chanel.
You know, I think she should take a lesson from that person.
Yeah, I think that like it can work well with two dancers. I can see like it working very well. I think that the best part of the song uh, are the vocals, because like
Yeah.
if she is able to reach that high note by the end, people are
Yeah.
going to buy it. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Like it can be anywhere. And I think it's a very international song because it has
Mhm.
this jazzy feeling, but it also has
Yeah.
Portuguese elements. It's a very, very, very well composed song. It's very professional, but that's the thing. When it comes to this edition of Festival da Canção, um, last year I was all in with Maro. Okay, they have to
Oh yeah.
send it. If she underperforms it, they can fix it before
Yeah.
Eurovision, but they need to send this song because it's this song is special. I
Yeah.
think we have many good songs in Festival da Canção this year, but I'm
Mhm.
not all in with any of them. I don't have like a certain and a specific favorite.
See, for me, I feel like I'm being a bit of a slut and I'm going all in with like four of them. I've got like my main 4/5 that I'm having relations with, and then the rest of them, unfortunately, they're just not.
Mistress.
They're
Mistress.
not getting a taste of this. And Mimi Cat, she just hasn't got a taste yet, and I don't think she's going to get one this year. Um, but I would love to see her come back again. There's no doubt that she's talented. There's no doubt that she is somebody that has the potential to win Eurovision. You can always tell when you look at an artist, like, could this person win Eurovision? Yes or no. She gives me massive yes vibes. And if you are somebody who likes the song and you're disappointed when you're watching this, and we're going, wouldn't be my favorite, wouldn't be mine, this is undoubtedly one of the favorites to win. We're only two people. This is definitely one not to be overlooked. So if you do love this one, your chances of winning are quite high. And if you don't like this one, your chances of not being happy with the entry that Portugal selects is quite high. So sometimes it's better to be in a neutral middle ground, like where I am at the minute. So I'm not going to be too happy, but not too disappointed.
Well, she's one of my favorites, but
Okay.
I'm gonna wait for the performance. Okay, so we have Jessica here. She's saying hello.
Hello.
Jessica is always over negative. She comes here and say these kind of things. Like, none of the songs in Festival da Canção will qualify to Eurovision. You said the same last year, Jessica. You said the same. So if Claudia wins, at least she can be 11th in the semifinal. Okay.
Well, thank you for your comment, Jessica. I would disagree with you. I think that especially if countries keep picking some of the worst songs in their national selections, I think that Portugal will find it very easy to be in the final this year. Should I read this one?
Yes, please.
We've got a message from Denise. That's probably completely wrong, but I'm just going to call you Denise.
No,
in the
Eurovision
World website, Al Corceo has 4.9 stars and is the second Eurovision song so far with more votes. Is this the one by Mimi Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I understand why, and I think that it's a high quality song that a lot of people like. But are people going to vote for this in Eurovision? Is it competitive enough to make a dent on that Eurovision stage? I feel like there's other songs that just captivate me more. Like, will I vote for this if it wins? I'm sorry, I will not be voting for this. There's other songs in this selection that I would be happy to give my televotes to.
I think you're going to change your mind after the performance.
We'll see. Only time will tell, and I love being proven wrong. Trust me,
Yeah.
I love having my opinion changed. I like listening to people, and if somebody can make me change my mind, that's very impressive. I love that.
Yeah, me too. This is like that's why we talk a lot, right? And I
Exactly.
think we change our minds from time to
We're not
time.
stuck in our ways. We're being stuck in your way and too rigid in your views is very old fashioned and it causes most of the damage that society currently faces. I think if you're a bit more malleable with your views and you're a bit more accepting to change, then life is a lot easier for you and for everyone else around you.
Absolutely. I have more comments here. Mimi
Mhm.
Cat is my favorite, and it seems that for the international audience is the one catching more attention. Attention, it will all come to staging on that one. You're welcome,
100%.
Sonia. Thank because I thank her for teaching me the jarring, the new word.
I completely agree. Like we said, it is going to all come down to the staging of that song.
Hmm. Gustavo is saying hi, hello.
Hello, Gustav.
Gustavo doesn't think that Mimiket will win because the juries are not going to support her.
Why is that? I would like to know why you think that the Portuguese juries wouldn't support it, because from somebody who watches a lot of Festival de Canção, it strikes me as the type of song that those Portuguese juries would cream themselves over.
Yeah, let me tell you something. This is something that people are probably comparing it to what happened to Barbara Tinoco with Paris Two in
Mm,
2020 when she lost because of the juries and she won the televote. Um, okay, I think that the issue with Barbara is that it was really bad on stage. Like the performance was not good. So I think it's
mm,
very difficult to compare because although the songs have some similarities, I think Mimi Cat is a totally different performer. She has much more experience. She has a much stronger voice.
mm.
uh, Barbara Tinoco did not reach the high notes that Mimi Cat is probably going to reach
Yeah.
on her live performance. So, in my opinion, I think the judges are going to see what they have on their plate, and they are going to pick what's the more like artistic. That's what's that the Portuguese jury tends to do that. They go for the most artistic performance, and I think that in my opinion, Mimi Cat has a big chance to win the jury. Hmm.
I think that Mimicat could do very well in both the juries and the televoting as well. Again, not the one that I would like to win, but definitely if it's a song that Portugal can be proud of if you send it to the Eurovision, it does have a competitive aspect to it, and it most
Mhm.
certainly will stand out in the pack. There is not going to be any other songs in this year's Eurovision that sound anything like Mimi Cat's song.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you.
Hello, Raphael.
Okay, low. Portugal should have a national team like Norway. I don't think so. Where in several semifinals there are many possible winners. Well, Norway is not the best example when it comes to performances, when it comes to vocal performances, when it comes
Oh, do
to
you mean the lip sync? So everyone's lip syncing this year in Norway.
yeah,
It's like,
not just
yeah,
lip not just lip syncing, but I think that having autotune made some performers very lazy. Like it
yeah.
did not feel they were prepared to be
Mm.
there. Like it didn't feel they were really rehearsing, vocally and you know.
Are the artists even are they getting a say in this? Because I personally, if I was going on stage to sing and they were like, "Would you like auto tune?" I would say definitely not. I don't want auto tune. Do not dare auto tune me or do anything to my voice in post production. If I sing shit, I want people to hear my shit vocals because I'm performing myself. The end. I don't want this because it sounds so obvious. You can always hear when they're pitching something up and pitching something down, even especially when it's happening in live time. And I mean, Norway, I just wish, yeah, like you said, that there wasn't this heavy reliance on autotune, but that's not what this person's talking about. They're talking about all these different rounds. I think that Festival de Canção is correct as it currently is. It is a good format for a national selection. Portugal has won recently. I think countries should only really start changing up their national selections if they keep getting very poor results. They haven't won in an incredibly long time. For example, my country
Ireland.
should have changed its national selection like 10 years ago, but we're still using the same terrible, either internally selecting somebody that isn't famous, and that's just a fact, or internally selecting somebody who used to be famous a long time ago but hasn't had a hit in a long time, or doing a 5-man national selection in a talk show, like with no good acoustics or no good nothing. Like, I would love to be proven wrong this year and they actually have done up the stage on the Late Late Show, but I highly doubt it. Like, for me, watching my national selection is like me and my mom get together and we have a few drinks and we just feel embarrassed watching it, you know? But I watch Festival de Canção and I'm like, wow, I would feel proud if I was Portuguese right now. This is a good, high quality event. And yes, all the Nordic selections are very high quality as well. But I think that the structure that works for Norway is definitely not the structure that would work for Portugal. They are a bit more spicy in Southern Europe. And I think that Festival de Canção has a more calming atmosphere, and it's not as much about the strobe lights and the glitz and the glam. It's just about perform your song and we'll vote for it.
Okay. I'm going to let's move to another one. There are some comments
Yeah.
here, guys, but as these comments are about the song that we are going to talk about it soon, I'm gonna
Okay.
keep these comments for a while and post them here later.
Okay.
Let's move to Moya. The name of the song is
Mm-hmm.
Too Much Sauce, and it goes too much sauce, too much sauce.
Too much sauce, too much sauce. Yeah. Well, can we call this the joke entry, or would it be rude to call this the joke entry of the selection?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a joke entry because sauce. I think there is a message behind the
Mm,
song, and like when he sings in Portuguese, we kind of understand it because he
yeah.
talks about those rappers that sauce means those rappers that usually they try to hide their lack of talent with
Mm,
cars and expensive jewelry and girls and this kind of thing.
yeah.
But I'll let you speak.
So, all right, for me, I really don't want this to win. It's not that I particularly have anything against rap music or music in this genre, because we know that I absolutely adored what that song that was that oh I can't remember it now off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about. It didn't do very well live, but it was a very rappy type of performance that happened in Festival de Canção. Was it last year?
Oh, was it Jimmy P with Abençoado?
No,
A
it
guy with
was
dreads in
no, it
2020?
was the woman. It was the. Let's just move on. I'm not going to be able to
Oh
properly
no,
explain it to you.
degradê.
Thank you,
Pongo. Yeah, I
Degradé.
understand.
So you know that I loved Degradé when it was in the studio version. I listened to it so much, it was an unhealthy obsession for me. By at one stage, I was like waking up and listening to that song to kickstart my day, and I was going to sleep at night and listening to it to like end my day. It was just, it was addictive. But so it's not as if I don't like this genre of rap music, but I just don't particularly like this song. It is, again, we're going to Claudia. It's too repetitive. I'm hearing the chorus is just the repetition of too much sauce over and over again, and whatever the Portuguese lyrics are, they are lost in translation for the international viewer. This is another one of those songs that it's for the Portuguese radios, it's for the Portuguese people to enjoy, but I don't think it's to be sent to Eurovision.
Okay. I do enjoy it, but my
Mm,
biggest issue with this song is that it's very short. Like it feels lazy. It's a 2 minute song. It's just too short.
And then
It's
if it's 2 minutes that I said feels repetitive, so that's not good. That's not good,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And I was excited about him. Like
Mm.
it's a shame.
Yeah.
Um, now I think this is one of your favorites. It's
Okay.
Neon Soho, and it's a song called "Endless World." It's a song in English.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to start?
Yes, please.
I adore this one. I absolutely love this song. It's one of my most listened to in FDC, and I would be so happy if it won. But then again, I don't think that this is a lot of people's favorites.
Mhm.
So I'm not particularly sure. This could just be a me thing, but I absolutely love it. I think it's so catchy. I think the performer is very charismatic. I think that there's something really unique about the performer in the song as well. Something just isn't the same as everyone else. There is something unique going on with that performer and the performance, and I can't wait to see it live. And live, it's either going to be amazing or it's going to be a train wreck. So it'll be exciting regardless.
Ok, there are some comments here. Neon Sorro vai para a final na opinião de vocês. Are they going to qualify in your opinion? I think it depends on the live vocals. If
Yeah.
she performs it decently, I think this is a song that is going to qualify to the final.
Mm.
Gustavo is asking what's your favorite, but I think we're going to talk about that later, right?
Yeah, we haven't got to my favorite yet. We haven't actually touched on two of my favorites yet. So we'll get there, but you could probably use a process of elimination to work out the two that I'm very excited about.
Okay. Will they also have a chance to go to the final? If so, do you think you they can win? I think that I think it will really. I think it's one of the best songs. That's
Mm.
something that we all have to agree. It's one of the strongest songs in the competition. It
Mm.
reminds me of the good old days of Estilao. It reminds
Yes.
me of songs that are on. It's very Spotify-ish. It's the songs
Yes.
that we usually listen to on Spotify by those indie artists.
Mhm.
It reminds me of the songs that usually uh, um, get some promotion on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good song itself, but it
Mm. It's the
needs to
type
be well performed.
it's the type of song that when you're watching the television, they always pick the catchiest song for the advertisements when they're trying to sell you something. It's the type of song that would appear on an advert on the television because it's so catchy, especially that chorus and the build up to the chorus. I personally really like it. It's a song that, if it's performed well, staged well, I could see myself voting for this in the actual Eurovision Song Contest. And
Mm,
that's from an international fan. So we're the guys that are doing the voting.
mm,
So that's kind of what you need to remember. Unfortunately, we hold the power, but then you hold the power when it comes to our countries. So it is, you kind of have to think, what do they want from us? Because I know as an Irish person that I feel the international people really want Celtic from us in Irish, and RT aren't giving that. And that's why we're doing shit, because the public have spoken. They've said, this is what we want from you. And I'm like, Portugal, if you send me this, you're sending me something that I like. You're sending me something that I want to consume this, and I want to vote for this. I want to see them do well. So I think that I would love I would love to see if this won, it would do somewhere in the final. Can it win Eurovision? No. Let's face it, it's not a Eurovision winner. But could it be in the top 10 if it's got a great performance? I think so.
mm,
Definitely.
mm. Okay, Nyon, so sorry. I think Ireland is strong this year. Stay positive, John.
Thank you, thank you. Don't worry. I'm trying my hardest to stay positive, but it's hard.
Connolly will be top five in Eurovision. That song is amazing.
I
Top
don't think that the
five.
Irish public are going to vote for Connolly. Unfortunately, I'm going to try. If they're well live, I'll vote for them. But I believe that the Irish public are going to send that boy band, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think there is any other possibility. I think they're going to pick YDU. And I also think that RTE is behind them
Oh
because
yeah,
they said that the song was not submitted to a panel, that they just
hmm
handpicked the song.
of
So
course. Anyway, let's stop talking about Ireland. This is Festival da Canção. We're getting
yeah.
distracted.
So unfortunately, it's not Moya is not a joke act.
Yeah.
The Mr. Driver Pong, he's trying to guess the rap act you were talking
Mm.
about. Moya will be last in the semi, don't worry.
Okay.
Nyonso gives me vibes of Suma. Suma is a
hmm
performer from 2019.
hmm
I don't think that the Portuguese audience is gonna click with this one. Nyonso, do you think so?
I don't think so either. I feel like it's an uphill battle. I think that it's probably the type of song that it would do better in Eurovision than in Festival de Canção, but only time will tell.
You know what reminds me? It reminds me of Euclides.
Who?
Euclides, Volte It's that guy that was sitting on a chair into
hmm
2000, 2021.
hmm
He used dreads. It was a black guy. Do you remember him?
I'm gonna have to. Was this in the Eurovision Song Contest or in Festival de
No,
Canção?
it's for the concern. He was sitting on a chair. He was using a jumpsuit, a white jumpsuit in the final, and a green jumpsuit in the semifinal. It was a very
Oh,
good
yeah.
song. I think it was one of our favorites.
No, yeah, I remember it now that you've mentioned it. I get
Yeah,
this. I get the comparison.
yeah, it's a song that like the judges pushed him to the
Yeah.
final, and I think he deserved it. I think Nyonso is going to be the same. I think it's going to be in the final if they perform vocally well.
Yeah, I hope so. If they perform it well, I am rooting for them. And if they don't perform it well, then well, I'm not going to end up being disappointed.
Okay. There is a comment here. I would like you to answer it very fast so we can move to Sal.
Okay, dokie.
Which countries would you like to be in the same semifinal as Ireland?
What countries would I like to be? Oh, I don't think it matters, honestly. We could have the most favorable countries in our semi-final, and if our song's not good enough, they still will not vote for us because the quality is too high, and Ireland doesn't really have. All of our diaspora went in the other direction. We all went over to America, and we didn't really
Australia.
go. Yeah, well, Australia, but then again, the diaspora for the Australia, the Irish are massively outnumbered by the British. So most of their points will be going to the UK rather than Ireland. But Ireland needs to send a good song. We need to stop thinking about what countries are friendly to us or we need to have the UK voting in our semi-final, blah, blah, blah. We just need to get our act together and send a better song to the competition and people will vote for it. Like, look, at Salvador Sobral, I think he got televotes from every single available nation in Europe. So if a song is good, it'll get points from every country. And that was televotes. Didn't he get the highest televotes ever of all time? With a song that a lot of people had no expectations could possibly do that well. And if Ireland captures the same magic that is captured in a winning Eurovision performance, we'll get points. But I mean, if you want a few quick countries, the ones that I think are friendliest towards Ireland, you've obviously got the United Kingdom, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Estonia, and
Lithuania.
Lithuania sometimes, but not all the time. I think Lithuania, Poland, they could be a bit kinder to us, but they're not really, because we give them a lot of points, but then that's their diaspora in our country. And then any real Western European country would maybe give some trickle down points to Ireland, like you get 2-3 points from France, 2-3 points from Spain. But what I really want is not about the countries, it's about the actual song that we are sending ourselves. This is an internal issue with Ireland and RTE. This has got nothing to do with the other participating nations.
Because this is something that when I watched Eurovision in 1999, ages ago, I was shocked because Ireland had a very, very lame song
Oh
that
yeah.
year. And you guys got 12 points out of the blue from Lithuania. Like out of the blue, you got 12 points from Lithuania. Like you just got it. Like it was crazy. But anyway, moving on. Let's move to Sal. S-A-L. And the name of the song is Viver, which means to live. What
To
do you think
live.
about it?
I believe that this is slap bang in the center. Well, maybe not, maybe more under average than in the center. It's not one of the songs that I want to win. It's just quite basic, isn't it?
I think it's pleasant.
Yeah.
I just think it's pleasant. It's nice to, it's a nice song. It's okay. I listen to it like from time to time. It's a nice song.
There's no real bad songs here. That's the issue. Sometimes I may come across as being a bit harsh, but there's no real bad song in this selection. So the ones that I'm saying basic or I'm comparing it to the other ones that are just so much better and so much more competitive. So if we had to choose, none of us are going to pick Sal to win this selection. None of us. I think we're all in agreement that nobody wants this one to win.
Okay, so now let's move to You Can't Win Charlie Brown.
Okie dokie.
Yesterday, one of our members, Manuel Farinha, he said that he believes that this is one of the songs that the juries are going to support quite a lot.
You can't win. For me, okay, right. This gave me a lot of... It reminded me of a lot of artists that I actually do listen to. At the beginning of the song, it gave me... Have you ever heard of the band Beach House?
I've heard of it, yes.
It's a very sort of a specific sound that it's like a sleepy sort of thinking about waves going like this type of like thing. But then towards the end, have you ever heard of a band called Sigur Rós? They're from Iceland.
Yes, of course, yes.
At the last minute of this song gave me massively vibes for Sigur Rós with the way it built and had this like crescendo towards the end. What I said is it's very sweet. It has a very nice build, but it does lack some sort of impact that would make me consider it one of my favorites. But I like it. There's no doubt that this is a strong song.
Okay, I want to say something about this song. I think that its most interesting aspect is the melody. Like it has a very good melody. It's a very good composition. Like you can see that whoever worked with this song, whoever worked on the process, is a real musician. It's someone that knows how to compose a song.
I agree.
It's very good. It's very good. Like it's very good. But this is the kind of song that we listen to while we are, I don't know, maybe at home or doing something like driving a car, whatever. But this song can do very well in Eurovision if it's staged correctly.
I agree.
If it can do much better than, for example, Slovenia in 2019 with Sabi, which is a brilliant song. I think it falls in the same category. I think this song, if it's well staged, if it elevates this dreamy feeling,
atmosphere,
this atmosphere, like if it hypnotizes the audience, it can do very well.
I agree.
It needs to be well staged. Not just having like someone on stage and performing, like the camera, the lighting. It should be extremely well constructed. But this is very dangerous.
And the vocals too need to be the same smooth, creamy, dreamlike, beautiful, lull me to sleep type of vocals. They need to be exactly the same live, because if he goes on and he doesn't sound the same way he sounds in the studio version, it's not going to even sound like the same song. This song is very dependent on like I said, this build of taking you from this like sleepy beach house type of I'm rising out of my bed in the morning to then this like real crescendo, just okay, I've had my coffee, now I'm wide awake. It has this lovely build, but it needs to be perfect. It is one of those songs that certain songs are good enough to get away with sloppy staging. This isn't one of them.
Okay, we have here Jar. Do you like Alicia Michelle? She said she would like to represent Ireland because she has Irish roots.
I would write her a song. Why not? I mean, she couldn't do any worse than what we're sending recently. I don't mind Alicia Michelle. I think that Alicia Michelle has got some extremely strong opinions that can come across like she has her hot takes, and I don't agree with everything that she says. Trust me, I definitely don't. But I don't dislike her. I'm subscribed to her channel. If Alicia Michelle was in a room, I would have a conversation with her, and I would be very friendly towards her. And I think she would be very friendly towards me as well.
Well, she said that Portugal was not going to qualify last year, and we would probably lose our spot for Denmark.
See what I mean? She's the beautiful thing about human beings is they're infallible. Like, we're frequently wrong, and Alicia Michelle, she's a great example of somebody who's frequently wrong, but that doesn't make her a bad person or a bad content creator. It just makes her a human. The shade. I've got my book. That was Alicia. My book dropped. Her ghost is coming to get me. That was her spirit. There we go.
Okay. So the Irish tourists living in Algarve, it's in the south of Portugal, will vote for Ireland.
Oh, well, we'll see if they even watch the show.
Salve somewhat of a progressive rock with Portuguese folk music mixed, pleasant but not good enough to win. I agree with Carla. I agree with her. Contraste mudo is quality, but too muted for Eurovision. Mudo means mute, you know. It's just not as material. I think it is. But it will really depend on the stage. Like, let's see. He's asking me to ask you, how did Ireland react to the fourth place in Junior Eurovision?
Massive happiness, but also a sort of like, we've been telling RTE for years that TG4 is doing a better job, that they take the Junior Eurovision more seriously than the adult competition. That, for example, Sophie Lennon, she was actually a known name in Ireland before she went to Junior Eurovision. She's been on the West End, she's been in many musicals, like she's literally a celebrity here. Whereas if we send someone who's a known name to the Junior Eurovision, but we frequently send, I hate to say nobodies, but we frequently send complete nobodies to the adult competition, it just goes to show that RTE are not interested in putting the time, effort, money, and resources into getting an artist that's famous, either telling them to, have you got a good song, or providing them with a good song, like lots of other countries do. You know, in Sweden, they're on the phones, they're ringing out their artists, they're going, we've got this amazing song for you. Oh my God, come and listen to it. And then if the artist likes the song, they'll go, okay, I'll sing it. And they may do some changes, and then they'll get like a writing credit at the bottom of the song or something, just to make it seem like they had some involvement in the songwriting process. Ireland doesn't do that. It's like we've had leftovers from other national selections in our national selections years ago, and it's quite embarrassing. But the public reacted with great positivity that Ireland did well in the Junior Eurovision. And I think that RTE believes that they've put a lot of effort in this year, because the selection is slightly stronger than average. They believe that, you know, we've put so much effort in, we're going to do better. And I think that is to do with the Junior Eurovision success. So I think if Ireland would have flopped, Wild Youth probably wouldn't be in our national selection. They probably wouldn't have took that risk, because they're technically a household name in Ireland, but they wouldn't be one of the most famous bands that we have here.
Gustavo is saying that if we sent You Can't Win Charlie Brown to Liverpool, it would be a big risk. And with 100% televote in the semis, they would not make to the final. I think they can, but that's the thing. It should be well staged. Like you cannot just put them on stage and and pray for the best. Like
Yeah.
it's not a song like Amar Pelos Dois. Amar Pelos Dois was the kind of song that you could just put Salvador on stage and pray for the best. But
Oh,
this
yeah.
kind of song needs a bit more work. Do you agree,
Yeah.
Char?
I completely agree, but that I wouldn't count them out. I think that the one thing that I've noticed about the televoters is they cannot be predicted. The televoters are the most unpredictable bunch of people because they represent the general public. The juries are easier to predict. And now that they're gone, I think that what's going to come of this is we're going to have a much more exciting grand final. But then there are going to be songs that the juries would have penalized in the semifinals that are in the final, and they're going to completely destroy their chances in the final. And that's the sad part about it. Like, for the song that comes in the top 3 of the televotes of the semifinal could get no points from the juries in the final because it might just not be to their taste. So I think this year's Eurovision will be it's a very exciting experiment as to what is going to happen. But I'm happy with the 100% televoting. I think the jury corruption was getting a bit too much for me.
I would like to just say something. Many people would say that a song like Sabi, that represented Slovenia in 2019, would not qualify. Like the judges would push them to the final, but it qualified thanks to the televote.
Yeah, and I see exactly why with the televote. It had that teenage like love song, kind of cringy but modernish thing of going on. I can see why people voted for it in droves.
Okay, and it actually did well in the final too. Okay, so let's move to the second semifinal now of Festival da Canção.
Okay.
And let's talk about one of the favorites of our YouTube channel. Like one of our members here is crazy about this song. Rafael, he's crazy about this song. And it's the song by Bandua. It's called Bandeiras, which means flags.
Well, this is going to be a lovely one. This is my favorite. This is the one that I want to win. This is everything I want from a Eurovision song. This is everything I would like to vote for in the Eurovision Song Contest. And if Portugal sends this, it will be another year where I can sit very happy and very pleasantly knowing that Portugal will sail through to the final and do very well in the competition. So I really, really hope that this song is performed well, staged well, and that they don't manage to take a song that's so good and destroy it live. I don't think they will, but only time will tell. But this is my favorite song in the studio.
It's one of my favorites. It's also one of the songs that I really, really want to do well. But that's it. I don't really have a big favorite this year. But this song is among the ones that like I can see doing well in Eurovision. I think they would be an interesting choice because it's just good and it feels very Portuguese. It explores a lot of folkish elements, but it still feels very modern. And I think that they look very good too.
I was about to say that too. They're very handsome. They've got Eurovision is at the end of the day, it's a TV show. Human beings do tend to vote for beautiful things and handsome things over ugly things. That is just an unfortunate thing that humans like to do. These guys have a great song. They are good looking. They hopefully are able to pull it off live. And it's catchy. It gets stuck in your head. You want to listen to it again, but you remember it after the first listen. And like I said, and with quite a few songs in this selection, let's be frank, there isn't going to be another song in the competition like this at all. There's going to be no similar songs to this one in the Eurovision, whereas there will be many cookie cutter pop songs in English, but there's only going to be one of these.
And this is a televote magnet. I think that if the judges don't tend to vote for this kind of songs. We know that. Like we had many examples throughout the years, but this one, I think that it's a clear qualifier in Eurovision. Like it's
Yeah.
going to qualify, and it has a very interesting message. So if they are able to translate the message on stage, which means that everybody is different, everybody messes up sometimes. So why are we celebrating all these boundaries and holding these flags and stuff? Like it's a song
Yeah.
about unity, but it doesn't
Yeah.
feel cheesy. You know what I mean?
It's a very universal message. It's something that we can all get behind. And if you don't want to get behind it, well, you should reevaluate the type of person that you are.
So, Carla, she agrees with us. She thinks Bandua are going to surprise us on their live
I hope
performance
so.
in a positive way. Really hope they have Adufos on stage. What's Adufos?
Even I can't help you with that one.
Adufos. Oh, it's some sort of
Instrument?
Yeah, it's an instrument, but it's like a square instrument that you play like this. It's something very. I'm gonna yeah.
Traditional?
Yeah, it's very traditional. I'm gonna send you a
Well,
picture of
we
it.
love seeing traditional, strange, quirky instruments on the Eurovision stage. We love it. If I see an instrument that has about 27 legs and 37 pipes, I'm like, wow, what's that? I love anything obscure, anything cultural, something that I'm not going to get to see in my day-to-day life. And I think that's why I like Festival da Canção so much, because Portugal serves me a lot of things that I don't get to see in my day-to-day life.
And that's why we watch Eurovision. Like, and I
100%.
think that most of the audience watch Eurovision to see something different,
Oh
like
yeah.
something that's like not the usual.
We don't want to hear radio-friendly pop songs. Yes, sometimes a very good radio-friendly pop song can win this competition, but it doesn't happen all that frequently. And usually when it does happen, it's a weaker year where there isn't something more special to attract the audience's attentions. Eurovision is definitely about taking what is special about your country and your country's culture and
Exactly.
presenting it on the global stage for everyone to see and be like, look what we can do. That's what the Eurovision is all about.
Exactly, and that's what most of the audience is waiting for.
Yeah,
Bandua Live will elevate the song even more. They are a bomb live.
I
Bandua
sincerely
probably
hope so.
Bandua probably too medieval for Eurovision. So guys, like this is ridiculous because like why they're too medieval? Because when Denmark sent like those Viking songs, that Viking to Eurovision in 2018, everybody was saying, "Oh, this is one of the best songs. This is so good," and it actually did very well. It won the televote in the semifinal, and it was top 10 in the televote. So I don't think so. I think, as it said, the judges are not going to love this, absolutely, but I think that the televote is going to push it high.
I'll say that some people thought Lordi were too scary for Eurovision, and we all seen how that turned out.
Some people said that Salvador Sobral was too boring for Eurovision. Some people said
people talk a lot of shit. Okay, people talk a lot of shit.
Adufos is a traditional instrument from Covilhã, Portuguese region. So it's.
Well, I would love to see it.
Yeah, it's some sort of drum that it's like square, and you play like this. We don't have this in Brazil. So let's move to Bárbara Tinoco, which is one of the favorites of the selection. She's one of the biggest names. It's her second time on Festival da Canção. She's trying her luck again. What do you think?
Very, very sweet. It's just a very sweet, very nice song. Don't get offended by this, but this is sort of like Portugal deciding to do a Denmark. Like,
exactly.
This is Portugal's like, right, we're going to send a song that the Danish people are going to give 12 points to, hopefully. Because it is very much so, like, in the same vein as Love is Forever. It's just that sort of like cookie cutter, very sweet English language. You know, it is English, right? Or am I misremembering?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
yes,
just it's memorable, and I mean, people will vote for this. This has a niche, this has an audience, and a lot of countries won't be going down this very sweet female singer with her like nice little song. But is it what I would want to win? Is it what I want to see from Portugal this year? No. But it's not bad. And I could see that there's an audience for it somewhere.
I think that this song has a big, big, big chance to not qualify in Eurovision. Because this is the kind of song that the judges would vote for it. The judges would push her
Juries, yes.
finals. Absolutely. This would be a certain qualifier, like in
100% juries. This would be a certain qualifier.
Yeah, it would qualify like 100%. Like even last year with 50% jury, 50% televote, it would qualify. It's one of those songs that falls in the same category of Where I Am by Anya that represented Denmark in 2017. It's not though people are not going to vote for it because it's just too safe.
Generic.
It's very generic.
It's pretty, but it's generic. And I feel we know that the artist, she can do better, and she'll come back with something better, something a bit more of a risk. You have to take a risk. Like, for example, the last ones we're talking about, people saying like they're too medieval or they're too scary or too this, too that. If people are torn on a song, then it's taking a risk. It's splitting the public. And that means people are either going to love it, so they're going to vote for it, or they're going to hate it, and then it doesn't matter. But if something's just nice, you're going to go, oh, that's nice, but you're not going to vote for it. You're not going to not vote for it. And when it doesn't qualify, you might go, oh, well, it wasn't one of the worst ones. Like, maybe it deserved to qualify. But then who was voting for it? Were you voting for it? With your friends? With your family? No. So then she's in that boat. Just very sweet, but not competitive.
Exactly. I think this is one of the cases. If we think about do you remember Iceland in 2015?
Was it the girl? She didn't sing the best, but it was a very cute song, and she kind of had like she was wearing the puffball princess dress, and she was very young. I remember it. I liked the song. I liked the song in studio, but it was terrible live.
Yeah, I think that I remember that I said that on the forum when people were saying, "You're crazy. Of course, Iceland is going to qualify. There is no way she's not going to qualify. It's a very good song. She's going to make it." And people were saying that Cyprus was not going to qualify, or Poland, or even Lithuania, and she was the one that would like most likely qualify instead of these songs. She was not going to qualify because it was just too safe. And not just it was overly safe, there were better ballads. Like, people are not going to vote. Like, if we have 5 ballads, you must have the best ballad in order to people really vote for you. Like,
100%.
I don't think Good Night is going to be the best ballad of the semifinal. Like,
no,
it's not going to be. So people are not going to vote for her. So I think it would be a very bad decision to send her. She's great. I listened to her album. My husband loves her. She's amazing. I'm glad she's performing in English because she's
experimenting
something different. So this is interesting, but it's not the right choice, unfortunately.
No, it's not the song that you don't want to put her on that Eurovision stage, because it's not fair for her. It's not right. The song isn't competitive enough.
It is. Yeah, I agree with you. So, Tinoco is sending the last Portuguese song ever. It's very Danish.
Yeah, it is.
Taylor Swift from Wish. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Very Yes, I remember that song.
Yeah.
Starlight from Denmark 2018. They should have.
I think comparing it to Denmark was obviously that was the right thing to do. People seem to agree that it is very Portugal does Denmark. Sorry if there's any Danish people watching this. We love you.
Okay, so now we'll go to from a ballad to something more rockish
Mm-hmm.
with Da Punk Sportive. What do you think about it?
Do. Can you give me that one again?
It's in English. It's Da Punk Sportive. The name of the song is World Needs Therapy. Da Punk Sportive. It's a very weird name. Da Punk Sportive. It's a rock band.
Is it one of the ones that stand out, or is this another case of I've completely overlooked this song? Oh wait, no, the Punk Sportive.
Yes.
I there was a reason why I couldn't find it because I've written one single word. No.
Yeah, it's very middle of the road to a rock song.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry
not
about
bad,
that.
but it's very middle of the road.
Yeah, sorry. I was searching desperately through my notes and then I just seen one word note and I was like, oh, this is the one just says no. It's not the one. It's not the one for Portugal. Portugal can do rock, but they can do rock better than this. They can make it more catchy. They can make it more ethic. They can just do anything apart from what this band is currently doing. I didn't like it. I couldn't even get through the entire song if I'm being completely honest. I think I made it up to about 2 minutes.
Okay. So now let's move to another song, which is one of the favorites, which is
Mhm.
Edmundo Inácio's A Festa.
Okay. I adore this one. It's in my top 3. It's one of the ones that I would be extremely happy if it won. I think that the performer, I mean, I hope his voice is as good live as it is in the
Yes.
studio version. I feel like it conveys an emotion that is almost like you can understand the emotion that's being conveyed without needing to understand the language just from the vocal and from the music. And that's extremely powerful. I think it's a ballad that is definitely memorable and strong enough to get through to the final with televotes. And then it would be massively supported by the juries in the grand final. Massively supported. I mean, if it makes it to the final, I have no doubt that this would be sitting in the top 10 of the actual Eurovision Song Contest, potentially in the top 5 if it was 100% jury voting alone, because it is a very powerful song and it's just great. I love it. There you go. I really like this one.
I think Edmundo Inácio is one of those performers that he just has something on him. I showed you his performance. You remember Comunhão de Bens? He was dressing red and performing on
Okay, yeah.
in green.
I
Sorry,
recall.
not in red, in green.
I recall now. Well, then that means that you've answered my question. He's an amazing live performer. He's actually better live than he is in the studio. So we've got a
Yes.
performer here who's got a really good song, and he's going to sound even better live. So if you like this one, I think we're in with a high chance of this potentially representing Portugal this year. And if you don't like this one, be worried, because this is a massive threat.
Okay, so I think this is the kind of song that the juries might not vote in Portugal because the judges they tend to avoid voting for folkish songs. Okay, I'm going to
Mm.
say that because like it has happened before, like
Yeah.
Valeria in 2021 performing Nadine also. And there are other examples like Jonas, like Fado Bicha.
Oh yeah.
The judges in Portugal, it seems that they they do not really want to send a song that it's too folkish.
They don't trust that the rest of Europe can appreciate this folk, really, really ethic Portuguese sound. I'm telling you that yes, we can. We want this sort of sound from Portugal desperately. And anytime Portugal does send something folky and something experimental, we do tend to vote for it. It does tend to do well. So hopefully the Portuguese jury are a lot more open-minded this year, and they're not just going to go, oh no, Europe wouldn't vote for this one, we're not going to vote for this one. Trust in the artist, trust in the music, and don't be just saying, don't count anyone out.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and say something that, of course, we have to wait for the performances, but I think that Edmundo Inácio, as a performer, and the song, like, this is the one that can get Portugal the best result in Eurovision. I have to say that, like, if it's well performed, okay, because, like, for example, if he doesn't perform the song well, and, like, for example, a song like Neon Soho, like, they perform it well, and or You Can't Win Charlie Brown might be a better choice. Like, as I told you guys, like, last year, my favorite was Maru. I also liked Ciro. I liked many songs. But in the end, I was okay. It should be either Maru or Os Quatro e Meia, because these are the ones that, like, elevated the songs on stage, and these are the songs that are more competitive. I think that Edmundo Inácio, if he has the right producer, the right director, the right stage director, if he has the right outfit, if the camera angles, this song can do extremely well in Eurovision. And I'm not
Completely agree.
about doing decently. I'm talking about doing extremely well. And let's keep in mind something, guys. When it comes to Eurovision, we have three groups that vote. The first group is the general public that we are talking about here, Jar, right? The public that, like, the housewives, the people that just arrive at work, those young people that are just drinking and watch the show and listen to music on Spotify.
And these people make up the majority of the voters.
Exactly.
And the majority of the voters, they only hear the song at the most 2 times. They hear it in the semi-final, if they even watch the semis, and then they hear it in the final. So think about how you felt when you heard these songs for the very first time, or the very first time you seen them performed. Not if a song's a grower, yeah, that's good. But growers don't tend to do that well in Eurovision, because the super fans love the growers, and we can appreciate the talent in them. And wow, this song was so much better than I thought it was when I heard it the first or the second or the third time. But the people watching the Eurovision, they're not going to hear it again. And this one here by Edmundo, it stood out to me from the first few seconds of the song. I got sucked in. I was like, okay, this is going to be a moment. And it was a moment. He took me someplace, and I was very happy that I was taken there. So, anyway, go on to your second and your third groups.
The second group for me is the diasporas. Like, they use it to decide quite a lot of the results back in the day, because people are just not interested in voting. But now we can see how the general public influence, because most of the songs that win are the songs that are doing well on Spotify one day before the live shows, right? So this is something that we expect. The third group is the group that it's the fans. Like, they do not influence it quite a lot. So I think that when it comes to Eurovision, I think that this year, this group that usually decides the result, they just voted for Ukraine. They just voted for Ukraine. So many of these good songs that were doing well on Spotify, like Norway, which was very competitive. I don't like it, but it was extremely competitive. Maru was doing well on global Spotify one day before. Even Latvia, which is a song that the fans do not like, but it did extremely well.
I'm a fan, and I love Latvia. Just pointing that out there.
But it's very competitive. But it's I thought this is a clear qualifier. However, those that would vote for Latvia, they did not vote for Latvia. They voted for Ukraine. So
Yes.
Eurovision 2022, it's not a competition. Like the results do not really reflect what people wanted. Maybe
It was a
the
very unique set of circumstances that were occurring during that year, and it is a very unique set of circumstances that is still occurring. There's a lot of people who seem to think, well, Ukraine had their moment to shine. People aren't going to vote for them in droves this year. No, Ukraine will still get a massive, massive amount of sympathy votes because their country is being invaded, and people feel very sorry for them, and they can't separate the song competition from the reality of what's happening in the real world. They think we'll vote this will give the Ukrainians something to be happy about, XYZ. Will they get as much points as they got last year? Definitely not. Because there will be people who think, okay, you've had your moment. Everyone know everyone's on your side. Now we'll vote for someone else. But Ukraine will still get a massive amount of televotes that they would not have got before. But at least the song that they've sent this year is nowhere near as competitive as the song that they sent last year.
Not at all.
So I don't think that they're going to win. But just like what happened in the Junior Eurovision, Ukraine got way more points than I believe they would have gotten the Junior Eurovision. And I think the same thing will happen to this Heart of Steel song. They'll be in the final, and they could come 7th or 8th place with a lot of televotes. And that is what is going to continue to happen with this situation with Ukraine and Eurovision until Russia stop invading their country. And it would happen to any other country. If any other country was being invaded, the victim of an invasion, they would get a massive amount of sympathy votes until they were no longer being victimized. You can't control the public. The public will always vote with their heartstrings. And that's just what's going to happen. Exactly. And it's not Ukraine's fault. Trust me, I'm not saying this shouldn't be happening to their country. And I'm very happy for any amount of joy that the Ukrainian people can receive at the moment. But I would like to try and have a bit of a separation between the Eurovision Song Contest and the reality of what's going on in the world.
So yeah, that's the thing, because I think many people expected Maru to do better. She would do better in another circumstance. That's absolutely, and she did top 5 in the juries. This is amazing for Portuguese standards.
Definitely.
This is fantastic. Really, she was 9th overall.
She deserved it. She did really well.
Absolutely. And I think that I was not so sure. I'm not as sure as I was a couple last year. But I think that Edmundo is the one to send. Because he has the charisma, he has the stage presence, he has the song.
He has the full package.
But it needs to be great live. That's the thing. It's not something that can be fixed to Eurovision. He needs to prove himself on the semifinal. If he doesn't prove himself in the semifinal, we have to move to another one. That's the thing.
I have faith, but then he's sitting pretty in my sort of top 3, top 4, maybe top 5 of if Portugal sends them, I will be very happy and very content. So I won't be heartbroken if it doesn't live up to my expectations, but I have a very good feeling about this one.
Yeah, I think that when it comes, I think Edmundo, Mimi, and You Can't Win Charlie Brown are the ones that need to prove themselves live. It's they do not, I'm telling you, none of them deserve a second chance. If they screw up live, it's over, because Maru got a second chance last year. Her performance in the semifinal was not very good, but people were talking to her, Maru, we have to change, bring people on stage, and blah, 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 and people were talking about Maru, and then she changed everything, and she
was sensible, because she got some constructive criticism that was good. She took the constructive criticism, and she won. You know what I mean? Exactly. So let's just hope that if any artist doesn't do 100% and the fans go, please do XYZ because we want the best for you. We're not trying to sabotage you here. Otherwise, we'd let you continue as you are. We'll see. But I mean, after that performance that we watched of Edmundo, I don't think that it's possible for him to mess it up live. I think he'll do very, very well.
So, by the way, let me just say something here. Let me just move to another one. Okay, so let me just put the comments before we move. Mimicat a escolha perfeita. It means that Mimicat is the perfect choice. Could be, depend. It will depend on the stage performance. I love a festa. My second favorite. The lyrics are on point. Yeah, the lyrics of a festa are very beautiful, Jar.
Is this Edmundo's?
Yeah, it's Edmundo song.
Yeah.
It means like he's talking about this party that he wants to get into, but when he gets there, he just wants to leave because it's like
relatable.
Yeah, it's about contesting some material values. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically it. It's a very nice song.
I mean, I've shown up at many a party. I've looked around the room and I've just wanted to leave. So, very relatable.
Edmundo will elevate his song 1,000%. He's extremely amazing. Edmundo is out of this world, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely a massive talent.
Get ready for la festa.
La festa, la 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 la.
Edmundo has a lot of charisma and will do great. Ask is inherently political. Unfortunately, I 100%.
We know this. We know this.
That.
Unfortunately, we've been here for far too long to not realize, and we just have to take a deep breath and grin and bear it every single year that we see the same tomfoolery going on, and the EBU doesn't crack down on it.
Carla is she writes very good in English. Like inherently, I know this word, I know what it means, but I have never used this before. This is great, Carla.
This is like, come on, English lessons.
Well, this is good. This is good, and it comes from an English professor. Like
there we go.
You know, this is good, girl. He has a lot of fans from The Voice. He didn't win, but he was unique, and because of that, he has a lot more fans than the winner. Yes, he is more popular than the winner.
Yeah. That's very common. That a lot of the time, the person who wins will not have the same career when it comes to those competition shows than the people that come second, third, fourth. Like, look at One Direction. They didn't win their season, and they're like one of the best, well, not the best, but one of the biggest money makers that Simon Cowell ever created. And they came like, what, third or fourth?
Exactly. That's the thing. When it comes to these talent shows, Eurovision is a totally different arena because people are going to come up. They need to bring songs, not just like but the music industry is a different arena because people need to come up with good songs. It doesn't matter how charismatic you are, how beautiful you are. People are going to enjoy you for a certain time. But if you want to really make money with music and have like a long career, you need to bring songs.
Oh yeah, it's all about the song. It's called the Eurovision Song Contest for a reason. And then the performance is sort of like the song will win or lose, and the performance will be the deciding factor of that.
Absolutely. Okay, so moving on, she has a comment here. Maru didn't win the televote in the semi. She did not. She changed the staging for the final. She won the televote. That's what happened. Definitely. The look of Edmundo Inácio with a black corset is fire. Yes. It is. Let's move now to Inês Apenas. The name of the song is Fim do Mundo, which means the end of the world.
And she bookmarks my top 5. She's my 5th favorite in this selection.
Really?
Oh, yes. I really like this one. There's something very special about the piano in the song. There's something very memorable and very special about those piano riffs. I just find them extremely pleasant to listen to, and I think her voice is very pleasant. It's unique, but then it's not the most unique song in this selection. And it won't be the most unique song to the general public either. A lot of us like a good piano ballad, and there will probably be other countries that send some piano ballads to this year's Eurovision. There's always a few, but I do think this is a very good ballad.
It is.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. I think she's going to come up with something very interesting on stage. She's very creative. I It's just a good song, you know. It's just a good song. I think that it also needs to be well performed. I don't think it will win. I don't think so. But I think it's a song that for sure we are going to listen to it a lot. It's one of the favorites of Claudia. Claudia is one of our members here in our channel. And she said, Sanyo, I was with her on the phone before talking to you, Jar, and she said, Sanyo, Inê's song really it was really impressive for me. It was really impressive for me.
For me as well. For me as well. I agree. It's one of the ones that if it won, I would be happy, and I might vote for it in Eurovision. But it could be a personal taste sort of thing for me. But I do really like Inês's song.
Okay. Now I would like to ask you about Ivandro, who is also one of the favorites.
Right. We've discussed this one. Basically, I believe that he has got one of the best vocals in this whole Festival da Canção. His voice is amazing. It's like so strong, but yet tender at the same time. And it just has a beautiful sort of like, there's a beautiful vibrato going on there. He's just got a very special voice. But the voice is let down by a song that just isn't strong enough. It doesn't grip me. It doesn't take me to where I want to be taken. I listen to him singing and I'm just like, oh, I wish you had a better song. You could really knock it out of the park if you just had a better song.
I think the song is good enough. Okay. But before saying that, I just would like to tell you guys that I was typing while listening to Jar because I received some good news, and for us is that we got a press access for Melody Festival, and once again they are giving us access to the rehearsals. We are going to be able to follow the rehearsals, and we are going to bring you guys some exclusive information right after the rehearsals, just like we did last year. Okay?
Aren't you so nice?
Yes. So, leaving Melody Festival into Tuesday, which is the day they're going to release the songs just for the press, but I'm not sure if we are going to do that because they are going to have a moment to the press on site can listen to the song. I'm not sure if the online press is going to be allowed, but let's see. But about Ivandro, Povo is for me, it's a very good song. I think I don't know, it's just good. It's just maybe because I like the lyrics,
maybe,
or because it kind of reminds me of Brazilian music, because that song, like, it's Portuguese people are dramatic for sure. They like some drama when it comes to music, but Brazilian people also like some drama. Like, but they have different kinds of drama.
Yes.
Okay, I think that Povo is the kind of drama that Brazilian musicians make. It's a song that, for example, we have one of our biggest names here, which is Maria Rita. This is the kind of song that she would perform. I think it's the kind of song that even Chico Buarque and more traditional Brazilian musicians would perform. Uh, it's very, very, very. I think you can see Portuguese language music on it,
Mm,
but I'm not sure if people around the world is going to understand it. You know what I mean? Because, for
I
example, if
do.
you think about a festa, it screams
Mm,
Portugal. It screams their identity. When it comes to Ivandro, it also screams the identity. But
mm.
maybe only us are going to really understand it. You know what I mean? Because,
I mean,
like, I'm sorry. Go on.
what I was just, it is no doubt it is good, and I believe there's a reason why it is considered to be one of the favorites.
Mm.
But because of his vocal being so astounding, I just personally think this isn't his year. He needs to come back with a song that really is going to be something that the Eurovision voters are going to vote for and appreciate. Because he could be the type that gets sent and gets lost somewhere in the semi-final, and then he may never return to Eurovision ever again. That could be him disappointed and done with it. They're not going to vote for me. They don't like me. No. So I think it would be a big mistake if Portugal wastes his potential talent by sending him this year, because he could come back next year or the year after with something that is so much better and have his moment to shine.
Hmm.
Basically, I would like to see him again with a better song.
I think you may change your mind after the live performance because
Yeah.
that's the thing. He needs to sell it.
Mm.
He really needs to sell it. But let's see. We have
Yeah.
some comments here. This is the year to Portugal send a man with a long hair.
Yeah.
Edmundo.
Yeah. Or the Banduya. One of them has
Bandua,
long hair too.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the year of hair, please. Please.
2017, 2019, 2021.
Hmm.
Ivandro's song has a beautiful message in the lyrics, but music lacks a punch.
Yeah.
It's very poignant. Oh,
Poignant.
poignant.
Poignant means sort of like if you read a love song, like a love story, like if you're reading a novel and you find the words on the page are so profound and they are just so beautiful and so sweet that you almost can't believe what you're reading. It's very, very poignant, like a poignant love song or a poignant. It's just a very beautiful thing.
Mm, like exquisite.
Like what?
Exquisite.
Exquisite. Yeah, like yeah. Sort of, but they would have slightly differing meanings, but they're in the same realm: exquisite, poignant, beautiful, in the same place. Profound.
Okay. Now this song, it was not really appreciated by the fans, but I personally really like it. It's
Hmm.
Lara Lee.
Lara Lee. I mean, I've just read Middle of the Road, so I guess I'm probably one of the ones that isn't appreciating this one either.
I love this song, especially the lyrics. And there is something that I tend to appreciate when it comes to lyrics. Like, if the title is not in the lyrics,
Yeah.
but you still understand the meaning and why
Hmm.
the song has this certain title, I love
Yeah.
it.
I
Like,
like
I
that. I like
love
that
it.
too. I like the naming conventions where the actual title of the song does not ever appear in the song. That's cool.
I think that this song is going to be appreciated by the juries, but I'm not
Hmm.
sure if the televote is going to like, because this is for me, this is
Hmm.
art. Like the production, the instruments, her vocals. This is art. I was very excited. This is one of the few songs that the composer is not going to perform the song himself.
Mm.
And she, his name is André Henriques, right? Is it André Henriques? Or am I? Yes, Andre Henriquez. And he gave the song to Rally. And Luisa
Mhm.
is saying that she's an icon for LGBT people with more than 60 years. Like,
Well, I love her more for that. That's amazing. Come on, Laura Lee. Uh, I think I may need to maybe re-listen to Laura Lee's song, or perhaps it will be one of the ones that is elevated live. There is a lot of songs to listen through, like I said, when you follow all these national selections. So it could be the case that there are certain songs here that I'm not giving the full chance to, but everything will change when I see the performances live, as it always does. It's the same thing when all the Eurovision songs are selected, and then it gets to the dress rehearsals, and everybody's top 10 completely changes the minute we see the dress rehearsals. It's all about the performance. So don't count her out yet.
mhm. So Denise is saying that Ivandro was the Portuguese artist with the most streams on Spotify in 2022. So he's really famous.
Hmm.
At the moment, let's see if I got some update here. Yeah, I've got some update. So the songs on Festival da Canção that are having more streams are Ivandro has 10,000 streams,
Hmm.
like Povo has 10,000 streams. Then we have Barbara Tinoco with 7,600 streams. Then we have Claudia Pascoal with 7,300 streams.
I'm surprised she's that low.
Yeah, but this is high. She's the third highest
Mm,
because we are not like the people are not really streaming Festival da Canção.
yeah.
And then we have what's her name here? Mimi Cat has 6,200 and Edmundo has 4,600. So these are the ones that have more streams. But let's keep in mind that Barbara, Claudia, and Ivandro, they already have like a strong fan base.
Yeah.
So they are probably getting streams from the fan base. So I think this overall looks good for Mimicat, who also has a fan base but not that big,
Hmm.
and Edmundo. Bandura is right behind Edmundo with 3,000.
Oh, I wish that Bandua and Edmundo had a bit more, but they're not really listened to on Spotify type of songs. They're more watch, performance, vote in Eurovision type of songs, in my opinion.
Hmm. I think that the issue when it comes to Portugal is that let me just put Otavio's comments. He's saying good night. Hello, Otavio. Good night.
And I,
And he's saying the songs were released yesterday on Spotify, so that's normal.
oh
It
yeah, well then
is
that's fine.
it is normal, but I think that I don't see Festival da Canção this year as hyped as last year. I think last year people were a bit more hyped, like people outside of the Eurovision bubble, because Ciro was there, Fado Bicha was there, so they
Hmm.
have this group of people that would probably listen to the other songs. We also had Maru, who has a lot of streams on Spotify. She's quite known. We also had Aurea, who is a famous singer and a coach on The Voice.
Yeah, she was the favorite, the one that I really didn't want to win. So yay!
But I think that this year it's still a bit, as I said before, I think people are going to decide after the live performances. I
Yeah,
don't think people are going to pick their winner now. They're going to pick their
no,
winner later.
it's too hard. I can't. Like last year, we were galvanized behind Maro from day one. This year, it's we don't have a standout favorite. We're waiting to see what they serve to us on the stage, and then we will make our decision.
Moving to Terezinha Landeiro. Enquanto é tempo.
Right. This isn't one of the ones that I think is a threat. It's very middle of the road, probably going to stay in the Festival da Canção semi-final. It's just okay.
I think this is early 2000s Eurovision.
Mm.
You know what I mean? This is one of those ballads that we had like a lot in Eurovision and in the national selections. There was this ballad which is more popish and had some ethnic elements, and then people would appreciate it because it was something new. But I think that I really love Terezinha Landeiro. Like, she has some songs that she mixes Brazilian elements with fado. She's very good, and she has a beautiful voice. I actually think she's going to qualify. She's a well-respected singer in Portugal. But I don't think this is a strong enough song to do well in the televote. The judges might love it, but it won't do
It's
that
not
well.
competitive. It's not competitive enough for the competition of Eurovision. It's nice, but it's not the one.
I think it's late. It's late for this song. I think a song like this is something that Portugal should have sent to Eurovision 2010, 2009, 2007. But now we need more.
Times have changed. Yeah, we just need more modern production, more interesting development of the song. It's okay, but it's not a threat.
But in my opinion, it's one of the songs that I listen to the most. It's one of the songs I really like the song, but I am aware that it screams non-qualification in Eurovision.
Yeah.
The Happy Mass, o Impossível.
We may disagree on this one. I actually really like this one.
I love it too.
I really, really like this one. There's something about it. It's just like a nice indie band song, but it's still catchy enough to be memorable. And it doesn't, like, for example, when Portugal sent Love Is On My Side, that song really got on my nerves. It was one of those songs that grated on me. It was like nails on a chalkboard. These two are in a similar genre, but for me, the Happy, they're doing it a lot better. A lot better. It's less, it doesn't grate on me. I actually can listen to this song from start to finish, and I enjoy it, and I would like to hear it again. So I do like this one. I think this is good.
You know, the best part of the song for me is like there's the male vocalist, and then this female vocalist comes and starts singing it. Like, it's a nice surprise. Feels like a warm hug. You know what I mean? I do like it.
I like it. There's just, well, I'm glad we agree on this one. They're aptly named because it's a song that makes me happy.
What about Voodoo Marmalade?
Voodoo Marmalade. Let's see. I read, oh no.
I like it. I like it. It has some ukulele sounds. It's fun. I like it. I really like it.
I read, oh no. So I'm guessing that past me really didn't like that one.
Really, I love it. I think it's nice. But okay, so I think we are done with the songs. So I have a couple of questions for you before we finish.
Well, I think we should both give our top fives.
Oh, sure. Okay, please.
See how they go. We'll do both of our fives and our fours and our threes and our twos and our one. This is subject to change, all based on the live performances. This is just based on studio versions.
Can I have a minute to come up with a top five? Because I'm a laborer, so it's hard for me to choose.
It's really hard for me to choose too, but I'm just gonna go for it and hope for the best.
So let's see. So this is the songs that I think I'm gonna go with the songs that I like the most.
Yes.
Okay.
And these are my personal favorite. This isn't the songs I think would do the best in the Eurovision. This is just my personal favorites now.
Okay.
So what would be your number 5?
Can you start with your number 5 and then you talk about it, because it's a bit it's difficult for me.
My number 5 is Inez. I already mentioned that. I think that she is a beautiful performer with a beautiful voice and a beautiful song, and I would be happy if this won. Personally, I really like this song, and like I said, I may even consider voting for it in Eurovision if it did win.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so my 5th place, I'm torn between You Can't Win Charlie Brown and
Mhm.
Neon Soho and Turkey.
Well, you have to pick one. I'll tell you that You Can't Win Charlie Brown is one of the ones that's just right outside my top 5, alongside quite a few of these. This is a hard selection to pick songs from.
Okay, I think that You Can't Win Charlie Brown, if it's better performed, I think it can do better than Neon Soho.
Mm.
So I'm gonna give my 5th place to You Can't Win Charlie Brown.
Okie dokie. My 4th place, and this may come as a bit of a surprise because it's the most basic pop song in the selection, but I really like April Ivy, and it is my 4th
Really?
favorite. Oh yes, I boogie to this quite frequently. I'm not gonna lie. I really like this one. It's so catchy.
Yeah, it has grown on me, but my
Yeah.
4th place goes to Ivandro.
Ivandro. Good.
Yeah,
He's
because
somewhere
Povo
outside my top
really,
5 too.
I don't know, Povo really touches me. I don't know, I like it. And Carla B, I think she's talking about, what was the song? Voodoo Marmalade. That you did
Mm.
not like it, but I like it, you know? Otávio is saying my fave is obviously Edmundo, and then Mimi Cat, Bandua, Neon Soul, and Cláudia Pascoal.
Mhm.
So did you say your 3rd
Third.
place?
We're on our 3rd places now. My 3rd place is Neon Soho. I just think it's a very catchy, very interestingly structured pop song. I really like it. So that's my 3rd place.
My 3rd place is Mimi Cat.
Mm-hmm. Mimi Cat is, again, she's just in the same place for me as Ivandro. They're floating just outside my top 5. Could easily usurp all of them if they're the best performers of the night. But it's good. And my 2nd place is Edmundo.
My 2nd place is Bandua.
And my 2nd place is Edmundo. So I'm guessing we kind of probably know what each other's 1st places are going to be now. My 1st place is Bandua.
But nothing's fixed. My 1st place is
Yeah.
Edmundo at this point.
We have the same top 2, basically.
Because I remember that in 2020-21, from the start, my favorite was Valeria, and then I moved to Carolina dos Landes, and then I moved to Sara Afonso. So I was like, okay,
yeah,
because this edition is a bit more similar to 2021
yeah.
than to 2022. We have some comments here.
Mm-hmm.
Denise's favorite is Edmundo.
Good choice. Very good choice.
Bandua is pure quality, and it is absolutely pure quality. It's one of the yes. And to tell you something, Bandua was one of the most anticipated artists among us here in Chabolajas and Eurovision. Like in our channel, like when we listen to the whole group of performers, the whole group of composers that RTP selected, the one that we were most excited, the one that we were most excited about was Bandua. I think we were happy about Ivandro for sure, about Edmundo, but Bandua was the one that, okay, this is something that we wanna know what they are going to come up with. But I don't know, Edmundo has something with the, the song has this vibe
Yeah,
that feels like one of those parties that we have here in Brazil sometimes. You know, that we go and dance, and I just like it
it's
very
a good
much.
time. But they're both amazing. Like, I'm extremely happy if Bandua or Edmundo win. Like, if they win FDC and take this to the Eurovision, I will be overjoyed. My fear is that there will be some sort of shock victory that goes on, the likes of which has happened in certain other countries, and then I'm sitting there like, what is happening? Are we trying to have one of the worst editions of Eurovision, or like, what is happening? But let's just live in hope, like that Bandua or Edmundo or one of the other aforementioned better ones is the one that is performed the best and deserves to fly the flag for Portugal.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so over 100 people watch this live with us.
Jesus. Well, hello.
This is nice. So thank you very much for everybody. Please don't forget to give a like to our channel. Please subscribe. It's very important for us. You may also watch the other videos. We have react to many of the songs in Festival da Canção. And let's see what happens. Like, we don't want to hype anyone this year because it's a very interesting edition. And I think that the artists are going to need to prove themselves on stage this time.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm apprehensive, and I am hoping for the best for Portugal as I always am. And thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and I'll see you again sometime.
People are asking you to come back, Jar.
Well, if I get the invite, I will come back, no problem. So there you go. The ball's in your court.
Of course, I'm gonna invite you back. Of course, obviously. Okay, I think that we should like make a live after Ireland's national final. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what happens, it could be a very exciting video. So only time will tell. I might be very spicy, I might be very disappointed, or I may be in a very good mood. Let's see.
So, who is your favorite in Ireland at this moment?
I mean, it is too difficult, right? If it's performed perfectly and we actually get to hear the full version of the song that's not the demo version, I do really like Connolly. But I feel in its current form, it's extremely obvious that that song's a demo. It's got very poor production. It needs to be completely changed musically, and then it needs to be performed very well. And I could get behind it. The revamp of Wild Youth is a lot better than the original version, but at the same time, boy band music wouldn't be my kind of thing. If they perform it well, will I be happy that they're representing Ireland? Maybe. Only time will tell. I'm not particularly fond of the Wild song. I just think it's too safe, too basic. I really don't like that Hawaii song. I think that whatever his name is, the guy from the Sex Pistols, I believe, I don't think that he's the correct choice for Ireland. I think that he's a very controversial figure for all the wrong reasons, and that it would just be a bit of a disgrace if Ireland sends him. So I hope they don't win. And then, what's the other? There's one song I'm completely missing, isn't there?
Too Good for Your Love by Aji.
Too Good for Your Love. I mean, that one will all come down to live. I have a feeling that that could be a complete train wreck live, but
I
only
think
time
that
will tell.
one. I think that one is really horrible. I think
I,
it's
I don't
absolutely terrifying.
understand. I don't understand why so many people kind of like that one, but I mean, for me, I would like to see Wild Youth or Connolly win, but it all comes down to the performances, and obviously, it all comes down to if Connolly has got this revamped version of their song ready before this Friday, because time's ticking, and we haven't actually heard the non-demo version of her song yet, which is very, you know, hurry up, tick, 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 tock. We want to hear the song. We would like to get a bit hyped about it, you know, before it's too late, before the show's over.
We have some more comments here. Connolly, Please Ireland. I love that kind of music. I do too,
Damn, I
but
do.
let's Jar. It was very nice to have you here.
Thank you very much, Carl. It was very nice to be here.
He's comparing Connery to Going Red. It's very Going Red.
I like Connolly. I do.
And Gustavo also likes Connolly.
I just feel unfortunately it's gonna be hard to trust the Irish public to make the correct decision this year. It's always is hard to trust them. It's hard. They just don't make the correct decisions very frequently these days. And yet, Too Good for Your Love, it reminds me of Ireland 2013. I actually would say it's still not as bad as Ireland 2013. That song's even worse.
That song was a mess, and I still, I
Horrid.
still listen to "Crashing Down" by Aimee that lost that year. But that horrible song. That was a crime.
It was
That was
awful,
a
but like I said, the Irish public just they don't tend to vote for the right song. So like Connolly could do a stellar performance. The same thing that happened in Belgium is very likely to happen in Ireland. We're not going to pick the song that the Euro fans want us to pick. We're going to pick a song that they don't really want us to pick at all. Ireland will have a jury, right? That's, I mean, that's worrying. Look at what the Irish juries, like last year, arguably Brick was the best of a bad bunch. In my opinion, she was the best of that national selection. The juries voted her like third or fourth. They tried to kill her chances of going to Eurovision. And yeah, she did make it to the final, but if it wouldn't have been for the cheating and the corruption, for example, if it would have been 100% televoting last year, Ireland would have made the final. So, I consider that as a massive win for Brooke. But I just feel like this year the same crap's going to happen. There's a lot of corruption with RTE, and even the RTE head of delegation has me blocked on everything because I tried to give him a few suggestions, and then he was in the paper a few weeks ago crying, saying that the Eurovision fans bully him. So clearly he's stuck in his way, and instead of trying to make some changes, he's just playing the victim card and trying to act like he's being bullied when he's a grown-ass man getting far too much money for doing a very bad job.
Yeah, and this is something that sometimes people do not understand. These are public broadcasters. They cannot just use public money to do this kind of
Exactly.
crap. Like, for
Exactly.
example, that's the thing. Like, you as a taxpayer, would you be happy to send a song like Gustav's song to Eurovision? Like Gustav, the one that is representing Belgium.
No, I really wouldn't be, especially if I had Shireen or Gala there too. I would be distraught.
Let me tell you something that this has been on my mind for quite a while. There are some judges that they are very they really know what they're doing,
Yeah.
to protect their favorites. Like in Albania,
Mhm.
there was always like this song that they wanted to win, like for example Yonida, and then there is another song when Yonida won in 2019. There's another song that people enjoy, people think it's nice and it's a fun favorite, which it was Sony Malai with that song that was very upbeat and stuff. I
Mm.
hated it. It was very similar to Fuego. The judges that were voting on Festival da Cangas that year, they gave the first place to Unida, and they gave like 2 points
They
to
know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing. And I think that the judges in Belgium, they tried to do the same. They
Yeah.
pushed Gala and Shireen to the top, and they undervoted on their Starlings with that horrible song Roller Coaster, who are very famous in Belgium and would probably get a lot of televote. They
Well,
did that.
it was Alec. I think Alexander Rybak killed the Starlings the minute he compared it to that Ed Sheeran song and talked about like, oh, well, it's nice to take to take the best parts from other artists. He basically just called them copycats, and I think that kind of destroyed their chances then and there, because the public would have went, Actually, yeah, it does sound exactly the same as that
No,
Ed
but
Sheeran
they
song.
won in the televote. They won
Oh,
in the
did they?
televote.
Well then, fuck my drag, right? I take that back. I take that back. Anyway,
But yeah,
we're
they won but they are very famous. They would probably get a lot of televotes. So
yeah.
the judges they probably push them down.
Well, in
But what?
Ireland, the one that's likely to win the televote is Wild Youth because they're the biggest name. So
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
but like what can really happen, and I think that's what happened in Belgium is that they pushed the public's favor down, but they
Mm.
forgot the public not necessarily is going to vote their favorite second. So a
I know.
song that was second in the televote and second in the jury, like a third in the jury, it won, and it was
Yeah.
Gustav's. The same happened in Ukraine. The judges probably did not want Jerry Hale to win, so they pushed her down a little bit because they wanted Crew to win. And you
Yeah.
see what happened? The winner was someone that was
Well,
unpredictable.
maybe something similar will happen in Ireland. Maybe the judges will push Wild Youth down and push someone else up, and somehow Connolly will manage to squeeze through if she manages to come second in both. But honestly, this is just. Let me put it this way. There's more chances of me being content and happy with the Irish entry this year. There's more chance of me winning the lottery, and I don't even play the lottery. So I don't want to say I've completely lost all faith, but I kind of completely lost all faith about 5 or 6 years ago by this stage, and I've never really recovered it.
Okay, I think Wild Youth is going to win, and I think they're going to qualify.
Well, that only time will tell. I just want to watch the show and enjoy one of the songs, at least, and then that's the one that wins. All I want is to be happy with what I've sent to the competition. Like, I was happy with Brooke, so I could celebrate her and whatnot and say bye Phil to people and blah blah blah. Even though I had no faith, but I hate like years when Ireland sends a song and I hate it so much that Ireland's like one of my pee breaks. It's embarrassing.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, we have here Nick Tutorials put because of you first because of queer representation. She said that to Riri blogs. How can you put this kind of people on the jury? Like she knows nothing when it comes to music. She's a
Yeah,
blogger.
exactly.
This is crazy. She's
I
a makeup
mean,
artist.
I'm all about queer representation, but for me, I'm all about it's about the song. A straight person with a very good song is the person that I am going to support over a bunch of LGBTQIA people with bad songs. Does that make me a bad gay? I don't care. I'm going to support the straight person with a better song because I want this competition to be competitive and I want it to be high quality.
Exactly. We have another comment here, which is William from Wee Blogs, who is a fan just like you and me. Will take part in the jury of Benidorm. Haha, nightmare. Well,
Oh.
Denise could have been the jury. Carla could have been the jury. Diego Del Mar could be in the jury. You could have been the jury. I could have been the jury. Because it makes zero sense to bring a blogger to the jury because he's a fan, just like you and me. Like, we want musicians, people that really know music.
Yes.
Like professors, producers, these
Yes.
kind of people. And having the jury close to the audience, like this is crazy. Like they are obviously the audience is going to influence them, and they can even get attacked. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Well, let's hope that there's no attacking of the jury. You'll see me on Friday attacking the Irish jury on TV. No, I'm watching it from home. I would not watch that live.
Okay, so it was nice talking to you, Jar, once again.
Yeah.
You're my favorite Eurovision person ever.
Thank you very much. So are you.
And thank you guys for being here with us. And we are going to come up with new material throughout this week. And remember, Melody Festival is starting, and Festival da Canção is just beginning.
And an interview with Mimi Cat.
And we have an interview with Mimi Cat on Tuesday, and we have an interview with Edmundo Inácio on Wednesday.
Oh my God. I'm jealous that I'm not going to be there for that one. I'm going to have to give you some questions to give to him.
Yes,
anyway,
please.
I'm going to have to say farewell because I need to go use the toilet. But this was absolutely lovely. Thank you for watching, and thank you for having me.
It was wonderful having you. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.